When Karens are in the street, they seem to believe that they are always right. However, what happens when a Karen goes to court and has to face a judge? Here are 5 times where Karens have freaked out in court and instantly regretted it. Up first is Keisha Johnson, who fully embodies the Karen stereotype. In a Louisville, Kentucky court, Keisha Johnson stands in front of Judge Sean Delante. Johnson has been charged with possession of marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and tampering of evidence.
Keisha Johnson. Come on up here, ma'am.
I don't want to stand here.
No, you gotta come stand at this podium. I get.
Oh, ma'am, you have to come up here. We can't record your back.
The arraignment is already off to a rocky start. When called upon, Johnson denies the judge's request.
Oh, ma'am, you have to come up here. We can't record your back.
You guys operating under?
The laws of the state of Kentucky.
Oh, yes. As in like amnesty law, sexual.
Come up here and stand at this podium. I have to get you on the record so that we can see you with your argument.
Okay, well, for on the record, I reserve my right before crossing this bench.
Johnson keeps refusing to cooperate and also argues about the integrity of the laws of the court. This is because Johnson is a sovereign citizen. The sovereign citizen movement started in 1971 and was based off the principle of anti-government. Sovereign citizens believe that the courts have no jurisdiction over them if they do not give consent to the court.
I do not want to lock you up, but I may very well have to. I need for you to come up here and stand at this podium. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. You have to come up here and stand at this podium.
Judge Delante continues to pressure Johnson to come to the stand, but she will not budge.
Show me the law. Show me the law. This is my property. Show me the law.
There is another disruption in the back of the courtroom. A bailiff is telling a spectator, Jenna Von Dran, to stop filming on her phone. In Kentucky, judges have to give permission to people to film in their courtroom.
All right.
Show me the law.
Chris? Chris?
Show me the law.
Go ahead and lock her up. Go ahead and take her into custody.
No. You're being very forceful.
It seems as if Von Dran is with Johnson as she starts to preach her sovereign citizen rights. However, she's not getting anywhere, and the judge reaches to push his panic button to remove her from the court.
What is this for? Are you guys watching this? Under the Constitution, you have no right. No right for that.
Yeah, I'm not finished with her yet.
What are her charges? I'm sorry, she's not. You lock her up and abusing her.
Finally, Johnson comes to the podium to stand before the judge.
You are charged with tampering with physical evidence
You guys are wrong.
and possession of drug paraphernalia.
I don't understand any of those charges.
Well, there's not a whole lot more.
While the judge is reading Johnson's charges, you can hear Von Dran in the background still yelling.
Do to try to explain to you.
Okay, let's start here. Can you guys prove jurisdiction? Prove jurisdiction, because I come in under common law. Prove your jurisdiction, that you have jurisdiction over me. Prove jurisdiction. A court cannot proceed until you guys prove jurisdiction. Show me your jurisdiction. Show me your law.
I don't have to prove jurisdiction.
Yes,
to
you do. In
All right.
law, it
I'm gonna
says you have to prove
to
jurisdiction.
you right now. I'm going to ask the deputy to go ahead and take you into custody.
Under what charges? Under what charges?
It seems Judge Delante has had enough with Johnson and decided to show her who's boss. But Johnson is not going down without a fight.
Disrupting my court. No, where are these?
Take your back. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
I don't know.
Stop resisting. Now come on up.
It's wrong. Under common law, under the United States Constitution, and if they keep going.
Johnson would be found guilty to contempt of court and would have to serve 1 day in prison. Out of the original charges, she would only be found guilty of possession of marijuana and would have to pay a fine. However, this case is nothing compared to the next Karen who freaked out in court. In a Detroit, Michigan court, a hearing is about to kick off between attorney Paul Nicoletti and recent client Karen Stevens. Yes, her name is literally Karen. The two have an ongoing feud and it's about to reach its climax.
Good afternoon, Judge Karen Stevens. In pro per for my motion for sanctions against Mr. Nicoletti for this vexatious and frivolous PPO.
I'm sorry, on this what?
I have a motion for sanctions against...
I know that. And the purpose of the sanctions are based on what?
It was a frivolous and vexatious PPO based on nonsense.
To cast some backstory to this case, Stephen has been stalking Nicoletti, and Nicoletti has filed a personal protection order, or a PPO.
And the purpose of the sanctions are based on what?
It was a frivolous and vexatious PPO based on nonsense. I am not stalking Mr. Nicoletti.
I haven't signed a PPO.
His petition for a PPO. Let me.
Okay, were you served?
No, I wasn't, but Mary,
No, you may not.
Stevens is already off to a rough start. She states that the evidence against her is frivolous and vexatious, but the judge hasn't even served her yet.
How can you ask to sanction someone when you haven't even been served?
that's the point. He created a
Stevens,
false...
do not interrupt me when I'm speaking, ma'am.
I have a constitutional right to be heard.
He did not pursue his right to a hearing on the PPO. You were never served, and here you are taking up my time so that you want me to chastise him and make him pay money? No, ma'am. Your relief is denied, and in addition to that, I am sanctioning you with costs of $500 forthwith to the county clerk's office.
Stevens' plan completely backfires. Not only does she not get sanctions against Nicoletti, but she also has to pay a $500 fine now. But Stevens has choice words for Judge Anderson before leaving.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I knew it was fixed.
I beg your pardon?
I said I knew it was fixed.
Miss Stevens, I highly suggest that you just exit my courtroom and go pay the sanctions before I find you in contempt.
Stevens would not only have to pay the $500, but also Nicoletti's lawyer fees. Stevens got away with a slap on the wrist compared to what the next defendant did. For the next defendant, we will take it over to a Zoom courtroom meeting, where Amanda Stiles and Ryan Parnell are discussing the custody of their 3 children.
Okay, what can I do to help you all today?
Yes, sir. Get us off of your docket is what you could do.
Stiles already seems pissed off by yelling at the judge to get them off his docket.
Drug screening and a motion for a psychological exam based upon that custody evaluation recommendations.
Blah, 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 blah.
Stop talking.
Motion for
She got plenty of responses. Objection.
What's your objection? Hold on, wait a second. Ms. Stiles, you just need to object and then let me know what your objection is. Don't yell at her.
Objection. A hearsay.
Stiles just randomly blurts out objections with no evidence to back it up. The judge at this point seems to have no control over the situation.
What is your response to the request for a psychological evaluation?
Not doing it, and you cannot force me to do it. You cannot physically make me go and show up and partake in anything that I do not want to partake in. Yes or no? Do you agree or not agree?
You don't get to ask me questions right now. I'm asking your position.
That's my response to you.
Okay.
You will not get any. I'm not doing a psych eval, and you cannot make it mandatory.
When she is asked if she would take a psychological evaluation, she completely loses control, saying that she would not be taking one. This isn't even the craziest part of this call, as you will see Stiles is full of tricks. When asked about what days she would want to take the psych exam, this is what she had to say.
And whose expense? Mine? Because if it's mine, I'm not fucking doing it. Sanction, give me $100 fee. Woo
Okay,
woo.
well, so I am finding you in direct contempt.
Okay, one fine.
Finding you $100.
Okay, make it 2. Damn, I said 2 words. What date?
So that question is to you. Never
I
mind.
said what
I'm not-
time?
I'm not gonna let you
Time,
pick.
date. You know these
I'm not
things.
gonna let you look. You don't get to do this for your own pocketbook. I'm muting you for. All right, I'm going to count that as another violation. So, in terms of the request for the deposition, she didn't.
After flipping off the judge, Stiles leaves the courtroom, officially ending her time in court. The case between Stiles and Parnell is still going on, and the trial has no definitive ending yet. If Stiles was in physical court, things could have gone a lot worse. She might have even attacked the judge, like this next Karen did.
Miss Hardwick, you will be held in contempt of this court if you become disruptive.
Before her husband can even start testifying, Melissa Hardwick interrupts him. Hardwick is currently in family court after her husband filed for a divorce.
You will be held in contempt of this court if you become disruptive.
I don't care. I haven't done anything to this court. I haven't done anything to them.
She'll be arrested for 10 days for contempt of court.
The judge has had enough of her behavior, but before they could take her to jail for contempt of court, Hardwick does this.
You go now.
In a last-ditch effort to gain control over the situation, Hardwick lunges at the judge. However, she was quickly apprehended by the bailiffs in the court. Judge Jennifer Edwards would be shaken up after the whole ordeal, as you can see her fumbling through her papers before recusing herself from the case.
A new judge will have to be appointed to represent because she
will be charged criminally for the threats that were made in open court today.
Hardwick would receive 120 days in jail for contempt of court. She would also be charged with terroristic threats, intimidating the judge, and resisting arrest. But instead of jail time, she would receive 5 years on probation. Now we're in Ingham County, where Marlena Pavlos Hackney is fighting over her charges of violating public health and food laws during the COVID pandemic. Pavlos Hackney has kept her restaurant open for the several months after being told repeatedly to shut down. During this period, she also had dine-in eating as an option during a state emergency shutdown. At first, her food license was suspended. Then the restaurant was ordered to close until hearing, but she did not comply, resulting in her being arrested on her way to work. Joining her today is Richard Martin, the creator of an organization that defends people against the court system who they believe is corrupt.
Right. I was not aware that I would be here other than acting as assistants, not as her lawyer, but as assistants of counsel in this matter to help her because she does have understanding problems of the English language.
Martin is supposed to be there as an English aide and is not allowed to give legal counsel, yet he's still trying.
This says appearance. It is for lawyers. Do not argue with me because what will happen is you'll get another 93 days and then we'll start over. So, sir, you came in here wanting to be assistants of counsel. There is no other definition. It is plain English. You can cite cases all day to me. You're entitled to a hearing. Your rights remain intact. But for today's purposes, you are under arrest for contempt of court, this court. You may be escorted out. Thank you.
Just like that, Martin has been arrested and sent to jail for 93 days for contempt of court. Now Pavlos Hackney has something to say to the judge.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
I would like to call.
Ma'am, stop. I know you want to control this room, but this isn't Burger King. When the sign changes to Burger King, you can have it your way. Right now, this is my courtroom, and you will answer my questions. Ma'am, stop. Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? Yes or no?
Now Pavlos Hackney wants to play the silent game, with the judge trying to swear her in 2 separate times, but being interrupted during both.
I understand her attorney is on here. Where is her attorney?
Please don't take back
Again, say anything again without telling me you're going to tell the truth, and I will hold you in contempt of court for 93 days. So your client has elected to not be able to make a statement because she's not taking the oath. Would you wish to proceed, or would you like to speak with her before we proceed?
I would like to speak with her prior. I'm not sure she understands what exactly is going on.
All right, we're going to make that happen, and then we're going to resume.
Pavlos Hackney ends up remaining in jail for 4 days, but later she would be released. On top of that, she would have to pay $30,000 in fines and close the restaurant for good.